Hello and welcome to Get Your Money Right. I am Dorinda Monique, income protection strategist, financial educator, and personal financial management coach. Normally you see me in my car, but today we're going to have coffee conversations. You've got it. Coffee and conversations. Let's go. So for those of you who have been following me thus far, I want to thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. I am grateful. For those of you who are just joining me, welcome. And I pray that you come and visit me again. Now, if you haven't subscribed already, please do me a huge favor because I want to get to 50 subscribers. Yes, 50, right? It would be great if I could become monetized and all of that, but I'm not in it for that, right? I'm in it because I want to be able to share valuable information with people so that they can get their financial house in order. And in order for me to do that, I have to get on a platform like YouTube so I can reach the masses. My goal is that one day financial literacy is not the exception. It's the rule, because as we know, financial literacy is not found in schools. And if it's not found in schools, it's not very often talked about in households. And I want to be able to at least touch one person per family so that they can share this information with their family members and their children. And it spreads like a wildfire throughout the world. So do me a huge favor. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. And then if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Leave me a really kind comment or not. Maybe you don't like the content, or maybe you even have some suggestions on what I should talk about next, or maybe what I should do better. I appreciate constructive criticism. So don't be afraid to comment. Let me know you're watching. Tell me who you are and where you're watching from. I greatly appreciate it. So hit that thumbs up button, share this video on all your platforms with your families and friends, and then hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime I upload a new video. So with all of those disclaimers being shared, let's get into our topic. So I want to talk about the power of giving. Yes, the power of giving. Now, I know some of you have heard it, right? To be a cheerful giver. If you if you go to church or worship service or, something like that, it talks about being a cheerful giver, not just in the sense of tithing, but just be a cheerful giver, right? Now, if you don't go to church, that's okay, because that's not what this is about. This is not a religious channel, right? We're not going to talk about church. I don't go to church every Sunday. Matter of fact, I haven't been to church in a couple of years now, but who's counting, right? Don't judge me. But here, the point I'm trying to make is being a cheerful giver is something that people have heard for a while throughout the ages. And there's a reason that they say be a cheerful giver. See, when you give freely from the heart, guess what? The universe blesses you and returns that to you tenfold in most cases. Now, some of you are saying, yeah, here we go. I don't want to talk about religion. But no, this is not about religion. Have you ever done something really nice for someone, a good deed, and all of a sudden you happen to be cleaning out the closet and you open the coat that you haven't worn in ages and there's a $20 bill? Or maybe if you're a young lady and you're cleaning out your closet and you go through old purses or something like that and you find out there's a $100 bill. I mean, have you ever come home down and out about something that's bothering you and open the mailbox and there's a check there that you weren't expecting? Well, maybe it hasn't happened to you, but it's happened to me, and it's happened more than on one occasion. And so I want you to understand that money is indeed a mindset. And in order to achieve, and in order to grow, and in order to level up, as people say, in order to get your finances healthy, you have to correct your mindset. And in doing so, one of these things we must do at all times is be mindful of other people and their needs. Now, before you start reaching for that off button, right, before you flick to another channel, I want you to understand Being a cheerful giver does not mean that you're a doormat. It doesn't mean that you allow other people to walk all over you. Absolutely, in period and O period. We aren't doormats. We're not allowing people to walk over us, but we're also not allowing people to just beg for things constantly, and we're just giving because we're hoping for something in return. That's not how we do this, right? Instead, you give from the heart. And if you don't have it, you be honest with people. You don't give them the runaround. You just simply say, well, you know what? I really don't have it, but you know what? If I had it, I would, but I hope things work out for you. I'm praying that things work your way. And you know what? Maybe tomorrow I do, but today I just don't have it. Guess what? And that's okay. That's not going to block your financial blessing. But when you give, let's say somebody, a cousin or whoever, asks for $100, and you do have an extra $100 that's not earmarked for something, right? I hate to use the word extra because there's no such thing as extra money, right? No one has extra, right? If you had extra, then you probably wouldn't be watching this channel. But I mean, maybe you have, an overload of money somewhere, a bag of extra money somewhere, right? And a cousin asks to borrow some money, and you say, sure, I got $100, no problem. I can loan it to you. Give it with a cheerful heart. And then when they tell you, hey, I can give it back to you a certain day or whatever, there's nothing wrong with reaching out to them and say, hey, cuz, you have that $100 I loaned you. I really kind of need that back. Now, here's the trick. There's going to be some people who's going to borrow from you because they know you have a kind and cheerful heart, and they're not going to give it back. They're going to give you the running around. And this is where your attitude towards the situation really makes or breaks your future blessings. Underline that, your future blessings. Here's what you do. When they give you a runaround and they don't give you your money back when you ask for it, it's like, you know what? Okay, file that in the back of your mind and know that the next time they ask, no is a real answer. No is a full sentence. No is a real word. N period. O period. No. No, not today, not ever. It ain't happening. Next, right? So, and you have to do that in order to guard your space, guard your peace, and guard your mental state, right? You have to do that. You have to learn how to practice the word no. And we're going to talk about that in another episode. But today we're going to talk about cheerful giving. And see, here's the thing. When it comes to giving, let's talk about a closet. Let's use the closet as an analogy, right? So when you're talking about giving, if you wanted to buy a new suit, buy a new pair of shoes, buy a new purse, buy a new coat, buy a new outfit, or whatever it is, but your closet is jam-packed to the max. It's just jam-packed to the max. Where are you going to put that new outfit? You can't, right? You're going to have to hold it somewhere else other than the closet, right? And then that becomes clutter, right? And when you're cluttered, what happens? There's chaos. We've already talked about that. And if we haven't, we're going to talk about it again because that's a very important point. Wherever there's clutter, there's also chaos. And so we want to make sure that we're not creating chaos. Therefore, we can't create clutter. So what needs to happen? We need to open up that closet and something needs to be taken away. We remove those things that we're no longer using. We remove those things we're no longer wearing. We remove those things that we can no longer fit, right? And we put it to the side for either, Goodwill or, not throwing names out there. We use the word Goodwill the same way we use Xerox to describe copying something. But we give it to thrift, or we give it to, an organization that donates, sells or donates clothing to those less fortunate, or whatever the case may be, right? So you want to open that closet and you want to take out those things that you're not using. Because if you don't take out what you're not using, you don't have room to put in more, right? You want to take out those things that are not being useful to you anymore so that you have room for more. And so our finances are the same thing. Now, of course, we could definitely use our money. But here again, if you have something laying around, an extra $5 or $10 that's not earmarked for something at that moment, and someone says, hey, can you loan me a dollar? Or hey, let's say there's someone homeless on the street and they're asking for money, and it doesn't matter what you think they're going to use it for. You operate with discernment, of course, right? But then you also operate with a cheerful heart and freely give to that person. And don't worry about what they're going to do with it. What they do with it is not your concern. Because if you're judging them, then you're blocking your own blessing. And we don't want to do that. So you want to just give from the heart, because now when you give what you have in excess, now you're making room for someone else to bless you. And a lot of times the blessings aren't equal, right? You can give someone $1 on the street and then all of a sudden walk 2 blocks and find 10, right? So we have to make sure that we're being very humble and we're being cheerful when we're giving, and we're not being argumentative or mean or nasty when someone doesn't give it back. Just be a cheerful giver, and then know in your heart that if that person doesn't return the favor or whatever the case may be, just make a mental note of it and say, because what I'm not going to be is your doorstep, your doormat, and that's okay. But other than that, give with a free heart. Give with a cheerful heart, give with a smile, and know that on the inside, you feel great and your blessing is coming. Trust and believe. That's all I have for you today. And if you do nothing else, get your money